Well, I must say that this came as a bit of a surprise. I've been using Reaktor since forever, and right up until recently I had no idea that this even existed. Turns out there's a genius developer out there that cranked out 50 insanely good Reaktor synths, samplers and effects. That guy is Boscomac, and today we're going to take a look at 3 of his very best creations. We're going to take a look at this, and this. Let's get straight into it. First up, let's take a look at Catapult. It's a minimalist groove box aimed squarely at electronic genres. And if your beats are feeling just a little bit flat, just wait until you see what this thing can do to add life to your grooves. You are just gonna love it. Catapult does not use any samples at all. All sounds are generated from within the synth. And this is great because it just gives you a much greater level of control over the sounds that you're generating. And as you would expect from a drum machine, you have 4 voices in the form of a kick, snare, percussion and hi-hat. And for each of the voices you have a step sequencer, and it is color coded. So the blue is the kick, yellow is the snare, and so on. And what you also have here is a nice little randomizer. You will click that and it will randomize the step sequence for the voice that you're editing. So doing this won't affect the other sounds, and likewise randomizing the kick will not affect the snare or any of the other sounds. And below that we've got the step sequencer, which determines the length of the steps, the direction, which is backwards, forwards and randomized, and we've got the tempo, and we've got the amount of swing that can be added. So that's what it looks like in the basic functionality. Let's reset the preset Cataclub and let's have a quick listen to what Catapult sounds like. So nothing earth-shatteringly new there. It's a nice minimalist groove box. No questions about that. Looks good, functions great. But there is something very special about this little groove box, and that's the probability engine that Boscomac has very cleverly integrated into Catapult. It's an excellent and really unique way of adding randomness and unpredictability to your beats, and it just injects life into your grooves. It's a really great tool. Let's take a look at how it works and what it sounds like. So what I'm going to do is just work with the kick. I'm going to remove all of the triggers from the other voices, and we should just have the kick drum triggering. And let's make it even easier. We'll just stick with the basic 4/4, just very simple. And the key with Catapult is that in the step sequencer you can move the steps up and down. But that isn't affecting the volume or the velocity. That is actually affecting, as you can see here, the percentage chance to actually trigger that sound. So what you can do with the probability engine is just introduce that edge of randomness so that you don't know when or if it's going to trigger, and it's just going to keep your beats moving along very nicely, adding sounds intermittently as you have dictated within the step sequencer. So let's listen to that now. So what you should see is the 4, let's keep it real simple and just put this one here, half percentage. You should see the 4 kicks triggering, and then this one right at the end triggering about 50% of the time. Here we go. Now let's introduce the snare. Let's add a few here. We'll have that one at full percentage, so that definitely triggers, and here we'll have a low possibility, just like this. And now let's see how that sounds all together. And again, let's add a bit of percussion. lots of low probabilities like this. So it should be coming in and out quite frequently. And let's see what that sounds like. And for the hi-hats, let's just randomize. Find a pattern I like the look of. There we go, I like that one. And let's have some of these triggering at 100%. So that we have some hi-hats definitely being triggered. And this one. So altogether, with the kick set like this, the snare, the percussion and the hi-hat, between them we should have kind of an ever-shifting pattern with the same sounds that are being triggered. But like I say, there should be a high element of randomness in there and unpredictability that keeps the beat alive without getting boring. And what you can do to make things even more random is change the direction. And I've set this to the maximum randomness. Now this should sound very random indeed. So in a nutshell, that is Catapult, and that's what makes it so special. That probability engine that you got there, and just the element of uncertainty and randomness and unpredictability that it brings to your beat. Fantastic stuff. Let's go in a totally different direction now. We're going to move from a groove randomizer to some cool physical modeling with Pluckrion. And just like Catapult, Boscomac has included some really cool features that make this a standout instrument. If you haven't guessed already, Pluckrion is a stringed instrument emulator. Think lute or theorbo, just something like that. Let's have a look at some of the unique features that make this such a cool VST. So at this stage, what I normally do is play a demo track that I put together to show how good the synth is. I was looking at the web page that you can see here, where you can actually download Pluckrion, and Boscomac has already prepared a track himself, and believe me, it's way better than anything I could ever put together. I feel I would be doing the synth a disservice if I did. So let's just listen to the track that Boscomac has put up on the website, and it really does give a good showcase of what Pluckrion can do. Fantastic demo track there by the man himself, Boscomac, so you've got a really good idea of exactly what this instrument is capable of. Certainly a much better showcase than what I could put together. So let's look at the GUI, just quickly run through exactly what does what so you know how to operate the instrument yourself. We have three modes of stereo. We have hyper, stereo and mono. Pretty self-explanatory, and throughout this showcase of the GUI I'm just going to be pressing the C and E keys together, just like that. Over here we get to determine whether it's a single string or three strings that are being strummed. So this is the single string and the three string. So you get more of a strumming effect obviously when you are plucking three strings. And we come down here where the knobs get a bit bigger and the effect is more profound. And on the right we have a reverb, which is pretty self-explanatory. The more you add, the more reverb. And vice versa. So let's leave that at 12 o'clock there, like that. And we have a sustain function. Again, the more you turn it to the right, the more sustain there is to the plucked note, and vice versa. Let's start with the tremolo and turn that up slowly so you can see what's going on. And for this, I'm just going to press the C key on its own. And I'm just holding that down. So the more you turn it up, the faster the tremolo effect is. That's really nice. And that brings us to the bowed effect. And as you can see here on the GUI, that is literally a bow that would be used on a cello or a violin or any other stringed instrument like that. And that adds much more of a bowed effect. So much slower attack there and slower release. And let's turn the sustain up and turn the bow effect right up, and that should sound something like a pad. That's a really beautiful effect. And that brings us to the muffle effect. So that is with the muffle effect fully turned off. Paradoxically, you've got to turn it all the way up to turn it off, and then gradually turn it down, and the signal becomes much more muffled. So in a nutshell, that is the GUI. Now you know how it works, and you heard a little bit earlier in the demo track exactly what it's capable of. Fantastic instrument. And so we come to the third of today's Reaktor gems, a delay plugin. But of course, this is no ordinary delay plugin because we are looking at Reaktor. This one offers something special that most other delays do not. Something that will quite literally turn your audio inside out, and the clue here is in its name. So what's special about this plugin is that it takes your incoming audio and reverses it. It's got all the usual controls you would expect from a delay plugin, like the delay, the feedback, and down here it's got a little special effects area with a bit of tape drive, filter, and some wow and flutter modulation. But the most useful control is this one. With the dry wet signal, what you can do is just add a touch of the reversed audio just underneath the audio in the background, just to give it a nice edge to it. Or at the other end of the spectrum, you can turn it all the way up to 100 so that you're only getting the full fat reversed audio. So what I'm going to do is run a couple of different sound sources through the reverser just to put it through its paces and see what it can do. That brings us to the end of today's video. If you like what you saw, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment. Make sure to subscribe because we've got all kinds of great content in the pipeline for you. And check out the channel. It's absolutely packed with videos that you are going to love. Here's a couple of videos that YouTube is very kindly recommending for you. Why not watch one of them? And I'll see you in the next one.